Hello, and welcome to EmpowerID 101. My name's Phil Geringer, one of the solution architects here at EmpowerID. I've created this series of short training videos to provide you with an administrator's understanding of EmpowerID. I've included videos that cover most aspects of EmpowerID, from basic concepts to complex configurations and everything in between. Each video has been designed to cover a specific topic or process, so feel free to come back often and refresh your understanding of a particular area that you might be interested in. In this session, we're going to take a look at creating custom delegations. So to start out, let's take a look at a delegation scenario that we have in mind here. So the scenario is that we have the ABC company. They're implementing a new corporate directory and need to update all of their employees' telephone numbers, personal email addresses, and preferred language settings. They'd like to leverage EmpowerID's self-service profile edit functionality to allow their users to update this information. Now, since this information is not very critical data, they don't want to have their HR department have to approve all of these changes. They want their users just to go ahead and be able to enter the information in and trust them that they'll put the correct stuff in there. So to take a look at how we do this, what are the steps we need to cover? So to create a custom delegation, there's a few steps that we'll need to perform. First of all, we need to determine what operations are needed to perform the work that we want the user to do. We're going to probably have to create a new access level, also called a resource role, and assign the operations that we need to it. And then we're going to assign that new access level to the person or group of people that will need to have the delegation. So pretty straightforward. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and go to our server and see how we do this in a real-world implementation. So today I'm going to be using the 2014 release of the EmpowerID software. I'm going to be working primarily in the HTML5 web interface. So it may look a little different if you have, say, the 2013 or 2012 version of EmpowerID, but the concepts are still the same. So the first thing we need to do is we need to, like we said, determine what operations they have to have access to in order to do the work we want them to do. Now the easiest way to do that is to actually do the process or run that workflow that the user will run as a non-privileged user so that we can see what operations have to go for approval. And that's probably the easiest way to determine what we need to assign. So we're going to log in as Anna Abbott. This is just a standard self-service user in this particular system. Now, the workflow that we want those users to run is the edit profile workflow. So this is the edit profile workflow. It's got a number of things that can be edited or changed in here. And what we're going to concentrate on is we want them to be able to put a personal email in. So we'll put an email address in there. And then we'll set the preferred language. We'll change it. All right, so we want them to be able to change that. And we also want them to go into the contact information and be able to put their telephone number in and their mobile phone. And then select the mobile phone provider that they use. All right, so that's basically the information we want them to be able to put into the system. So we're going to save that. Now, since we're logged in as Anna, who is just a self-service user, it's going to send that task for approval, that workflow for approval. So if we go back home now and we take a look in our tasks and requests and look at our open requests, we're going to see that there's a workflow sitting out there waiting for approval. This is the one that we just submitted. So if we open that workflow up, you'll notice that we see here the operations that have gone for approval. So these are the actual operations that we need to delegate to Anna in order for her to do this work and have it just sail right on through and not go for approval. So the next thing we want to do now is we need to be able to assign these operations to Anna. The easiest way to do that is to go ahead and create a new access level for person objects. So you notice this is for person objects. So we're going to go ahead and log in now as a privileged user, someone that has the all access privileges. This could be EmpowerID admin, or it could be a delegated IT administrator. I'm just going to log in as our Patrick user in this lab. And that's going to bring up EmpowerID here. So now, in 2014, the place we're going to go is we're going to manage. We're going to manage EmpowerID system configuration. And we want to create a new access level. Now, these are the resource role definitions that we can assign our operations to. So this brings up here, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a profile. Edit. Let's call this self-service profile edit. We'll just copy that, place it there. And now this is for a resource type of person. You see, if we do the drop down here, we can find the various object types that we can go for. So we're going to call that for a person. And we'll put a brief description in here. And then we'll submit that. Okay, now that that's been submitted, we want to go, and it's completed it, we want to go ahead and edit that one now. So we'll edit the access level definitions. We want to see the ones for person, because that's the one we just created. And we'll go down here, it's probably on the next one. There we go, self-service profile edit. This is the one that we just created. Now, what we want to do is we want to add some operations to it. So now the operations that we were talking about before is that we saw on that previous screen was the edit phone numbers. So we'll just start typing and it'll bring up the edit phone numbers. We want to add that one. And then we wanted to do the edit email addresses. So there's the edit email addresses. We also wanted to do an edit person about attributes. There we go. And then we wanted to do the edit person demographics. So there we go. So I've selected those. Now if we look here, we can see that they're included here. So we'll go ahead and submit those. And so it successfully saved those changes. So now we have a self-service profile edit access level for person objects that have these specific operations in it that we wanted to give to our users. So now that we have that access level created, now what we need to do is we need to give that to a person or a group of people. Now, since we want to apply this particular authority to everyone in the organization, so any self-service user should be able to do it, we know that there is a default management role that is applied at the anywhere level, which covers all self-service users. So let's go find that particular management role. So again, we'll go back home and we're going to go find our management roles, so roles, locations, and assignments. We want to find our management roles and definitions. So all roles. So we have down here a self-service user management role. Now this is the management role that is applied to everybody in the system, and it provides the default level of access. So what we want to do is we want to edit this one. So I bring up this management role. Now we're going to come down here to our access assignments. And we'll notice we have a lot of direct assignments here, but we also have the ability to change our assignment type. And the assignment that we want to do is we want to give everybody in the system the ability to perform these operations on themselves only. So we're going to do a relative assignment. So we'll do a relative assignment, and we're going to add an assignment here. And this will be for person objects. So person objects. And this is going to be for ourselves. And the access level that we want to assign is the one that we just created, a self-service profile edit. So we're going to assign the self-service profile edit, and we'll save that. Now you'll notice it put something in my cart. In 2014, a lot of these types of assignments we actually assign to the cart, so we can add a description in here and submit. So that's going to update those assignments. So now we have a self-service user profile edit assigned to that. So now once RBAC has gone ahead and updated the system with all of the new security assignments based on this change we just made, we should have Anna Abbott should have the capability of editing her own user profile information. So let's go ahead and we'll log back in now as Anna. And we'll see if she has the ability to change her own information now. All right, so back here we're going to run the same workflow again. I'm going to come down here and we're going to add our information in. We're going to add the language, English. We're going to go to our contact information, put in our phone numbers again. And we're going to save. Now you notice this time it successfully saved all of our person attributes because we have successfully given Anna the appropriate delegation to be able to complete that process. So to summarize, custom delegations can be created to allow users to perform just about any task without having to do any coding at all. And a delegation assignment can be created using the same simple process. You simply need to determine what operations need to be assigned, and that can be done usually by just running the workflow and seeing what goes for approval. You then can create the access level and add the operations to it, or if you already have an access level that's being used, say by the help desk or other folks like that, you can simply add operations to an existing access level to give them the additional capabilities, and then assign that access level to the people who need it. So thanks for watching this EmpowerID 101 video on creating custom delegations.